Have you ever noticed that life doesn't change overnight, but the small choices we make every day compound into something extraordinary? The reality is, success and fulfillment don't come from monumental shifts. They come from consistent, intentional actions that shape who we become. Today, I want to share 10 daily wins that can transform your life faster than you might think. These aren't just habits, they're opportunities to reclaim your time, your focus, and your energy. Win one teen, start your day with purpose. Before you check your phone, before emails or notifications, take a moment to define what matters most today. Clarity in your intentions turns ordinary moments into meaningful progress. A morning spent grounding yourself in purpose sets the tone for everything else. When I prioritize small wins, it's easy to get caught up in overwhelming tasks, thinking that only big victories matter. But small wins, completed task, a meaningful conversation, a healthy meal compound. These small steps fuel momentum. Celebrate them because they are proof that you're moving forward. Win 30, practice gratitude every day. Acknowledge something you're grateful for. Gratitude rewires your brain to notice opportunity instead of setback. When you focus on what's going well, you naturally make better decisions and inspire the people around you. Win 40, take ownership of your choices. Your life is the result of the decisions you make, both big and small. When you stop blaming circumstances or others and instead take responsibility, you regain control. Ownership creates confidence, and confidence is the foundation of meaningful change. Win 5, commit to learning something new every day. Invest a few minutes in growth. Read a paragraph, listen to a podcast, reflect on a lesson. Small, consistent learning expands your perspective and equips you for opportunities you can't yet see. Win 6, move your body. Physical energy fuels mental clarity. Even 10 minutes of movement, walking, stretching, or a short workout improves focus, mood, and resilience. Treat your body like an asset because it powers everything you do. Win 7, reduce mindless distractions. Notice the moments where you drift into endless scrolling or reactive habits. Protect your attention as if it were currency. Every distraction avoided is time invested in becoming your best self. Win 8, and reflect before bed. Take a moment each night to review your day. What went well? What could be improved? Reflection builds awareness and allows you to course correct before patterns become habits. Win 9, and connect with someone. Meaningful human connection is essential. A call, a message, or a simple gesture of kindness strengthens relationships and fuels a sense of purpose. Investing in others creates returns far beyond what you can imagine. Win 10, end with a positive thought. Your last thought before sleep matters. Choose a thought that empowers you, something you're proud of, excited about, or grateful for. It shapes the mindset you wake up with and begins the next cycle of growth. If you commit to these 10 daily wins, you'll notice something remarkable. Life won't just pass by, you'll actively shape it. The accumulation of intentional small victories is the fastest way to achieve meaningful change. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. It's showing up even when it feels small every single day. And when you do, you'll realize that transformation isn't far away, it's happening right now. Keynotes of the speech. Daily purpose sets the tone for meaningful progress. Small wins compound into significant change. Mindset practices like gratitude and reflection shape outcomes. Intentional choices, movement, and learning fuel personal growth. Connection and positive focus amplify long-term transformation. Every day begins with a choice, whether we realize it or not. From the moment we wake up, we decide consciously or unconsciously how we will spend our time, our energy, and our attention. Most people allow the day to dictate their actions. They wake up, check their phone, scroll through notifications, react to messages, and then wonder why the day feels wasted, fragmented, or unproductive. What separates those who experience progress from those who merely drift through life is the simple, yet profound, act of starting the day with purpose. Purpose is not a lofty idea reserved for monumental goals or life-altering decisions. It is a mindset that you carry into every action, every interaction, and every decision you make. Defining your purpose for the day transforms ordinary moments into intentional steps toward your larger vision. It creates a framework for your actions and a lens through which you view challenges and opportunities alike. When you start the day without clarity, you are at the mercy of circumstance. Small interruptions, random obligations, and fleeting distractions have the power to derail you because there is no internal compass guiding your choices. But when you begin with purpose, every decision is filtered through a conscious lens. You ask yourself, does this serve what matters most today? And suddenly, trivial interruptions lose their power. Your focus sharpens, your energy is directed, and even small tasks gain significance because they align with a larger intention. Purpose also has a powerful psychological effect. Neuroscience tells us that the human brain is wired to seek meaning. When we act in alignment with purpose, we release neurotransmitters like dopamine, which reinforce positive behavior and create a sense of momentum. Momentum, once established, becomes self-sustaining. A morning grounded in purpose propels you into the day with clarity, resilience, and confidence. Furthermore, defining your purpose does not require complex exercises or hours of introspection. It can be as simple as identifying 1 or 2 key outcomes you want to achieve, deciding on the mindset you will carry, or reflecting on the kind of person you want to be today. For example, you might wake up and decide, today I will focus on meaningful work without distraction, or today I will listen deeply and be present in my interactions. These intentions act as guiding stars, influencing every choice you make throughout the day, often in ways that are subtle but impactful. Purpose also shapes how you respond to obstacles. When challenges arise, and they always will, a person without purpose can feel frustrated, overwhelmed, or helpless. A person with purpose, however, interprets obstacles differently. They see challenges as opportunities to practice patience, resilience, or creativity. Purpose provides context. It reminds you why the struggle matters and what the effort is ultimately for. Over time, consistently starting each day with purpose creates compound effects on your life. It shifts the way you think about time, energy, and priorities. Tasks that once felt mundane become meaningful steps in a larger journey. Moments that might have felt wasted become opportunities to practice focus, discipline, or gratitude. Even interactions with others are enriched because you bring intentionality and presence to every encounter. Starting the day with purpose is not about rigid planning or controlling every moment. It is about creating a mindset of intentionality that influences your choices naturally without forcing them. It is about anchoring yourself in what matters before external demands pull you in every direction. By consistently practicing this, you are effectively building a habit of clarity and focus, which is the foundation for every other success, whether personal, professional, or relational. In essence, purpose is a lens through which the day is filtered. Without it, the day happens to you. With it, you happen to the day. It transforms ordinary routines into deliberate actions, idle time into meaningful engagement, and scattered energy into productive effort. When you understand and apply this principle, you realize that the most significant victories in life do not come from grand gestures, but from the quiet, consistent choice each morning to move with intention, to align your actions with what matters most, and to carry purpose as a guiding force through every hour, every decision, and every interaction. It is in this commitment to daily purpose that transformation begins, because each purposeful day builds on the last, and over time, the accumulation of these deliberate choices reshapes not only the outcomes you achieve, but the very person you become. Most people assume that meaningful change requires massive action, dramatic gestures, or sudden breakthroughs. They wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or the big idea, thinking that small efforts are inconsequential. The truth is far different. Life doesn't reward occasional bursts of effort. It rewards consistent, intentional actions. Small wins, the tiny, deliberate steps you take every day, compound over time into results that are disproportionate to their size. They may feel insignificant in the moment, but their impact grows exponentially. Imagine a simple habit like reading 10 pages of a book each day. 10 pages may seem trivial at first, almost unnoticeable, but over a month it becomes 300 pages, and in a year, thousands of pages. That accumulation of knowledge and perspective transforms your thinking, your skills, and your opportunities. Small wins work in the same way in every area of life, whether in relationships, health, career, or personal growth. They are the building blocks of momentum, and momentum is the invisible force that drives consistent progress. When you achieve a small win, your brain responds with a sense of accomplishment. It releases dopamine, a chemical that not only makes you feel good, but reinforces the behavior, making you more likely to repeat it. This is why small wins matter psychologically. They create a cycle of reinforcement. Each small victory signals to your mind and body that your efforts are meaningful and effective, encouraging you to continue. Beyond the psychological effect, small wins serve a strategic function. They break down larger, daunting goals into manageable, actionable steps. Many people fail not because they lack ability, but because the goal feels too big to tackle. By focusing on the next small step, you reduce overwhelm and maintain clarity. These wins also provide feedback. They show you what works, what doesn't, and where you need to adjust. Every small win is an experiment, a learning opportunity, and a signal to keep moving forward. Over time, the accumulation of small wins creates a sense of identity. When you consistently practice small, positive behaviors, you begin to see yourself differently. You become the type of person who follows through, who takes initiative, and who is capable of achieving meaningful outcomes. Identity change is one of the most powerful consequences of small wins because it influences your future choices and reinforces long-term habits. Small wins also have a ripple effect. One minor achievement often sets the stage for the next. Completing a single task can lead to increased confidence, which makes tackling the next challenge easier. Over time, this creates a chain reaction of progress, where each win builds upon the last, amplifying results far beyond the initial effort. The key to leveraging small wins is consistency. It is not the occasional effort, but the daily, repeated action that produces compounding results. Whether it's dedicating 10 minutes to learning a skill, choosing a healthy meal, sending a thoughtful message, or taking a short walk, the cumulative effect of these small, deliberate acts is profound. It is also important to recognize and celebrate these wins, no matter how minor they seem. Acknowledging progress reinforces behavior, strengthens motivation, and builds confidence. This is not about vanity or ego. It is about signaling to yourself that you are capable, committed, and moving forward. Small wins transform the abstract concept of success into tangible progress. They remind you that growth is not a distant destination, but a series of achievable steps that can be taken right now. The most remarkable transformations in life, career, and personal development are rarely the result of sudden breakthroughs. They are the product of small wins stacked over time, each one reinforcing the next, each one building the foundation for something greater. Understanding this principle changes the way you approach challenges, goals, and daily decisions. You stop waiting for permission, perfect conditions, or monumental inspiration, and instead you begin to act intentionally, deliberately, and consistently. In this way, Small wins are not small at all. They are the true currency of meaningful progress. They are proof that lasting change does not come from grand gestures, but from the cumulative power of consistent, purposeful action. And when you embrace them, you set the stage for transformation that is not only fast, but sustainable and deeply fulfilling. One of the most powerful forces that shapes your life is not external circumstances, skills, or opportunities. It is your mindset. The way you perceive events, interpret experiences, and respond to challenges determines the trajectory of your personal and professional growth. Among the many mindset practices, gratitude and reflection stand out as particularly transformative. They may seem simple, even mundane, but their consistent application has a profound impact on how you experience life and the outcomes you achieve. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you or acknowledging the obvious positives in your life. It is an intentional practice of recognizing the value, beauty, and meaning in the present moment. Gratitude rewires your brain to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. When you actively notice what is working, what you have, and the small blessings that surround you, you shift your perspective from frustration and comparison to appreciation and clarity. This shift is critical because perception drives behavior. A mind focused on lack sees limitations, obstacles, and missed opportunities. A mind rooted in gratitude sees possibilities, resources, and pathways forward. Practicing gratitude daily strengthens your ability to respond positively to challenges. Instead of reacting with fear, anxiety, or resentment, you begin to approach problems with a mindset that asks, what can I learn from this? Or how can I turn this into an opportunity? This does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that problems do not exist. It means cultivating a lens that amplifies solutions over complaints. Reflection is the complement to gratitude. While gratitude roots you in awareness of the present, reflection allows you to learn from the past and make intentional adjustments for the future. Reflection is a conscious act of examining your choices, your actions, and their outcomes. It helps you understand patterns in your behavior, recognize strengths and weaknesses, and identify where change is needed. Without reflection, learning is often accidental, scattered, or superficial. When you reflect deliberately, you create a feedback loop that accelerates growth. Reflection and gratitude together form a powerful synergy. When you reflect with a grateful mindset, you do not dwell on failures or mistakes with judgment or self-criticism. Instead, you view them as learning opportunities, as signals pointing toward improvement and growth. This approach fosters resilience, adaptability, and self-compassion, all of which are essential for sustained progress. Neuroscience confirms what many high performers have known intuitively: gratitude and reflection change the brain. Regular practice strengthens neural pathways associated with positivity, focus, and emotional regulation. Over time, these practices make it easier to notice opportunities, stay calm under pressure, and make better decisions. They also influence your relationships. A person who practices gratitude is more likely to recognize and appreciate the contributions of others, which fosters trust, collaboration, and meaningful connections. Reflection enhances empathy and understanding, allowing you to see situations from multiple perspectives and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. These mindset practices also have a compounding effect similar to small wins. Each day that you express gratitude or reflect meaningfully, you build mental strength, emotional resilience, and clarity of purpose. Over weeks and months, these incremental improvements create a profound shift in how you approach challenges, interact with others, and pursue goals. Importantly, gratitude and reflection are not abstract ideals, they are actionable. They can be integrated into routines, rituals, or even brief daily moments. A few minutes in the morning to acknowledge what you are thankful for, or a short reflection at night to review your choices and lessons, can create long-term transformation. By making these practices habitual, you embed a mindset that consistently shapes outcomes in your favor. When you internalize gratitude and reflection, you begin to notice that your life is no longer shaped primarily by luck, circumstance, or other people's actions. Instead, you recognize your own agency in creating positive outcomes. You realize that progress, happiness, and fulfillment are not elusive rewards, but the direct result of the lens through which you view life and the deliberate choices you make each day. Practicing gratitude and reflection is, in essence, choosing to live with awareness, intention, and responsibility for your own growth and well-being. The most significant transformations in life do not happen by accident. They are the result of deliberate, intentional actions taken consistently over time. Personal growth is not something that occurs passively while we go through the motions of our daily routines. It emerges from conscious choices, the decision to invest in ourselves, to challenge our limits, and to engage fully with the opportunities around us. One of the most powerful areas where intentionality matters is in the choices we make. Every day presents countless decisions, both large and small, that influence the course of our lives. Many of these choices seem trivial, yet they accumulate to define our habits, shape our identity, and ultimately determine the trajectory of our personal growth. Choosing to act rather than react, choosing focus over distraction, and choosing courage over comfort are not one-time decisions, they are daily practices. Each intentional choice reinforces your ability to align actions with values and goals, creating a life of coherence rather than chaos. Movement, both physical and mental, is another essential ingredient for growth. The human body and mind are designed for activity. Regular physical movement improves not only health and vitality, but also mental clarity, emotional resilience, and cognitive performance. Even a brief walk, a few minutes of stretching, or a short workout can release endorphins that lift mood and sharpen focus, allowing you to engage more effectively with challenges and opportunities. Movement is also a metaphor for progress. Growth requires forward motion, a willingness to step outside comfort zones and expand boundaries. Just as the body strengthens through repeated activity, the mind and spirit develop through consistent engagement with new experiences and challenges. Learning is the third critical pillar in this triad of personal growth. Growth is impossible without the acquisition of knowledge, perspective, and skill. Learning is not confined to formal education. It occurs every time we read, listen, observe, or reflect. When you commit to learning something new every day, no matter how small, you expand the possibilities available to you. You become more adaptable, more creative, and better equipped to navigate uncertainty. Learning also reinforces the mindset that personal growth is a lifelong journey rather than a finite destination. Intentional choices, movement, and learning are not isolated practices. They are interconnected and mutually reinforcing. When you make intentional choices, you are more likely to prioritize physical activity and mental growth. When you move your body, you increase energy and mental clarity, making better choices and absorbing new information more effectively. When you learn consistently, you gain the insights and skills that inform wiser decisions and inspire action. Together, these practices create a cycle of compounding growth. It is also important to recognize that growth is not linear. Progress often appears slow or invisible, especially in the early stages of intentional practice. Many people give up before the benefits manifest, assuming that effort should produce immediate results. The truth is that personal growth is cumulative. Every choice, every moment of movement, every learning experience adds to a foundation that becomes increasingly resilient and capable over time. Cultivating these habits also fosters a sense of agency. When you understand that your choices directly influence your energy, knowledge, and capabilities, you stop seeing yourself as a passive observer of life. Instead, you recognize that you have the power to shape outcomes through daily, deliberate actions. Over time, the combination of intentional choices, physical movement, and continuous learning strengthens not only skills and capabilities, but also character. You develop discipline, resilience, adaptability, and confidence, the traits that enable you to handle challenges, seize opportunities, and pursue goals with clarity and determination. The impact of these practices extends beyond personal achievement. They affect relationships, work, and overall well-being. People who invest in their growth naturally contribute more to their communities, collaborate more effectively, and inspire others through their example. By embracing intentionality, movement, and learning, you cultivate a life that is not defined by circumstance, but shaped by purpose, effort, and wisdom. These daily actions are the real engines of transformation. They create a ripple effect, influencing every area of life and compounding over time to produce results that far exceed the sum of individual efforts. The essence of personal growth is not doing more for the sake of doing more. It is about making each action deliberate, meaningful, and aligned with the person you aspire to become. When these practices are internalized, growth ceases to feel like work and becomes a natural expression of your commitment to yourself and the life you want to create. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and the connections we cultivate have a profound impact on every aspect of our lives. Relationships, whether personal or professional, serve as the foundation for growth, resilience, and fulfillment. Equally important is the focus we place on positivity, the mindset we bring to daily experiences, and the lens through which we interpret the world. When connection and positive focus are prioritized consistently, they act as powerful accelerators for long-term transformation, influencing not only what we achieve, but also how we experience life. Connection begins with intentional engagement. It is not enough to simply exist alongside others or maintain superficial interactions. Meaningful connection requires presence, active listening, empathy, and the willingness to understand perspectives beyond our own. Each conversation, each shared experience, and each act of kindness carries the potential to reinforce trust, strengthen relationships, and create environments in which growth is nurtured. When we invest in others, we also invest in ourselves. Connections provide support during challenging times, insight when we face decisions, and inspiration that motivates action. They offer a mirror through which we can see ourselves more clearly, recognize patterns, and refine our behaviors. Positive focus complements connection by shaping the way we interpret and respond to these interactions and the events in our lives. Positivity does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending challenges do not exist. It means approaching life with a mindset that emphasizes opportunity, learning, and growth. When we focus on the positive elements of a situation, we unlock creativity, problem solving, and resilience. Positive focus influences behavior at a neurological level, releasing chemicals that reinforce well-being, motivation, and a sense of agency. Over time, this mindset creates a self-reinforcing cycle. When we see possibilities, we act in ways that generate results, which in turn strengthens our optimism and confidence. The combination of connection and positive focus is particularly powerful because relationships shape behavior and mindset amplifies it. Being surrounded by people who encourage, challenge, and support us fosters accountability, inspires growth, and provides perspective. A positive lens allows us to engage with these relationships constructively, turning conflicts into learning experiences, feedback into actionable insights, and collaboration into synergy. Connection and positive focus also influence the trajectory of long-term goals. Major achievements rarely occur in isolation. They are the result of collective effort, mentorship, collaboration, and encouragement. The people we connect with provide guidance, resources, and opportunities that might otherwise be inaccessible. Our ability to focus on positive outcomes ensures that we approach challenges proactively rather than reactively, maintaining motivation even when progress seems slow or setbacks occur. Furthermore, both connection and positive focus have a compounding effect on personal identity and habits. When we prioritize nurturing relationships and maintaining an optimistic mindset, we begin to embody qualities such as empathy, resilience, patience, and curiosity. These traits in turn shape the decisions we make, the goals we pursue, and the actions we take consistently over time. The result is a life in which long-term transformation is not accidental but intentionally cultivated. Connection fosters accountability, learning, and support, while positive focus amplifies the energy, clarity, and perseverance needed to sustain growth. Together, they create an ecosystem in which personal, professional, and relational development reinforce each other. They also influence well-being at a fundamental level. Humans who feel connected and maintain positive focus experience lower stress, improved health, greater satisfaction, and a stronger sense of purpose. These benefits are not peripheral. They are central to sustained performance and long-term success. To cultivate these daily wins, it is essential to practice intentionality in relationships and mindset. Schedule time to connect meaningfully with others, even in small ways, and consciously focus on identifying opportunities, strengths, and lessons in every experience. By embedding these practices into daily routines, connection and positive focus become habits that continuously shape decisions, behavior, and outcomes. Over time, their influence exponentially transforming not only the goals you achieve, but also the quality of your experiences, interactions, and sense of self. When connection and positive focus are embraced consistently, they create a momentum that propels life forward in ways that are both profound and sustainable, turning ordinary interactions and daily decisions into catalysts for long-term transformation and meaningful success. As we reflect on these 10 daily wins and the principles behind them, it becomes clear that transformation is not the result of sudden breakthroughs or extraordinary moments. It is built step by step, day by day, through intentional actions, purposeful choices, and the mindset we cultivate. Starting each day with clarity and purpose sets the direction for everything that follows. Celebrating small wins fuels momentum and reinforces the belief that progress is possible. Gratitude and reflection shape how we perceive the world, allowing us to learn from the past while appreciating the present. Intentional choices, movement, and continuous learning empower us to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable with every passing day. Finally, connection and a focus on positivity amplify the impact of our efforts, creating a ripple effect that touches every area of our lives. These principles are not theoretical, they are actionable. They remind us that we are not passive observers in life, but active participants capable of shaping our experiences, decisions, and outcomes. Change happens fastest when it's consistent, deliberate, and compounded by small, meaningful actions. Each day offers the opportunity to practice these wins, to align our habits with our intentions, and to build momentum toward the life we desire. The journey toward transformation is ongoing, but the path is simple. Show up every day, make intentional choices, celebrate the small victories, nurture your mindset, and invest in the people and experiences that matter most. When you do this consistently, you will realize that life doesn't just happen to you. It unfolds through the actions you take, the focus you maintain, and the connections you nurture. The power to change your life lies not in distant goals or unlikely opportunities, but in the daily wins you choose to pursue starting right now.